Hey, Forsey family, can you believe we're already in the midst of the holiday season? Now, this fall, we've been in the life of David, learning lessons from him about hope for the heart. And as we come into this Advent season, we're going to stay connected with him in kind of a creative way. Today, we're going to talk about the Davidic covenant and all the promises of God to David and really to all of God's people that are fulfilled in the coming of Christ, of Jesus Messiah. Now, one of the great promises that we get about Jesus in the Old Testament is from Isaiah chapter 11, verse 1. It says this, "A shoot will come up from the stump of Jesse, and from his roots a branch will bear fruit." And it goes on to describe Jesus as the one who will bear the fruit of salvation and the fruit of redemption for God's people. Now, here it's called the stump of Jesse. Jesse's the father of David, who we've been learning so much about. And it's just saying that Jesus is going to come from the line of Jesse, from the line of David. And it's a reminder that his coming, the coming of Christ, is not in isolation, but is in connection with all of the Old Testament prophecies and stories that anticipate him and point to him. And it's with that in mind that many churches over history have utilized what they call a Jesse tree to teach about these Old Testament stories and promises that point to Jesus. And what we want to do in this Advent season is to invite you on a Jesse tree journey. Okay, now all that means is that we're going to provide you with a devotional guide right here, and it's going to get you going as families, and it can also be done as individuals, as adults, as young adults. In fact, this specific tool is for families, but on the website where this comes from, which will provide a link for you, you can also get other resources and devotions that are more geared toward adults. But we want to invite you each day during this Advent season to do one of these devotions. And you can do it with your children, with your grandchildren as well. And it's going to just walk you through an Old Testament story and ask you some very simple questions that'll get you thinking about your relationship with God. And then we're going to provide you with, you can pick both of these up today or anytime this season in the foyer on a table. They're going to be distributed in our children's ministries as well. But you're going to have the chance to pick up these kind of cutout ornaments. And the idea is that you can color these and cut them out, and each picture kind of represents one of the Old Testament characters or stories. And then you can hang them even on a tree. Like I have this little tree in my office, and you could use a tree like this. You could use a big tree. You could add them to your Christmas tree. You could just hang a line, of string and just paper clip them onto that. There's no perfect way to do the Jesse tree. We're going to have a stump on stage throughout this season that's going to remind us of the stump of Jesse and the branch of Jesus who comes from that. In fact, during this season, we're going to be even moving toward Christmas Eve. And Christmas Eve, we're going to have what we're going to call Living Jesse Tree and see the characters of the Old Testament foretelling Jesus just come to life before our eyes. So we're going to have a lot of momentum this way as a church this season. But the best thing would be if you could just journey with us in these devotions. It's just a way to get into God's Word together and to see, so much more about the family of Jesus and everything we learn from His Word for our lives. And so I hope you can join us in this. We're excited about it, and it will be a good journey this Advent season for our Forsey family.